We call his discovery the Pythagorean theorem or the Pythagorean relationship. With this relationship, you can find the length of any side of a right triangle if you know the lengths of the other two sides. Remember, I told you you can never find more than one unknown. And so this just proves that. Now, what really the Pythagorean theorem says, you've probably heard before, that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That's what's proven by the Pythagorean theorem. If you look at the picture there, it shows us that in a right, now it has to be a right triangle. What is a right triangle? What makes it a right triangle?
That it's directly a straight, like a direct straight.
What does a right triangle have in it?
90 degrees.
90-degree angle. If it has a 90-degree angle, and remember we said they may not put 90 there. They may just put that little box there. You have to know that when you see that little box, that's a 90-degree angle. And if you have a triangle with a 90-degree angle, it's called a right triangle. So they may just say you have a right triangle. You have to understand all of that means the same thing, that there is a 90-degree angle there. Okay? So we're saying, for instance, if you start off walking there and you're trying to get here, it's going to be shorter for you to walk this straight line from there to there than it is for you to come from here to here and then from here to there. Okay? Now I'll tell you the truth, I use that all the time. If I got to walk and I got to walk over there, I'm going to cut straight that way. Right? I'm not going to go there and there because I believe what they say, that the shortest distance is a straight line. Now you can't always go the straight line because there may be buildings between it. Another thing you might hear is as the crow flies. Is these many miles as the crow flies, because the crow can fly straight where we have to go around buildings and we have to stay on the road. So when you hear that expression, it's the same thing. They're flying that straight line from here, point A to point B. So that's what the Pythagorean theorem proves. Terms that you'll need to know is that the slanted line is called the hypotenuse. If you see that word, it's just talking about that slanted line is the hypotenuse. It is also in the formula that I'm going to show you, it is always represented by C. The slanted line is always C. Okay? These are called the legs of a right triangle. Those are the straight lines that are on the other side. One of them is A in the formula, one of them is B. It doesn't matter which one is which. Don't worry about it. The only one you have to know for sure is that that slanted line is always the C. Okay? And the formula is C squared equals A squared plus B squared. In words in a book, it'll say that the sum of the square of the legs of a right triangle are equal to the square of its hypotenuse. Now, see, that's a whole long technical term, which just means that when you add this times itself plus this times itself, it's going to equal whatever this times itself is. Okay? Let's see an example of it. If you have this and they want to know, what is this length? I know this is 3 and this is 4. What is this? What I know is that this plus this is equal to this. And I know this is C, so that's the one I'm looking for. Okay? This one's 3, so I know that 3 times itself plus 4 times itself equals some number times itself. Okay? 3 times itself is what? I knew somebody would say that. 3 times itself, not 3 times 2.
9.
3 times 3. And that's what you have to make sure that you're not using this 2 to multiply. This 2 tells me how many times to write the 3 down and multiply it times itself, okay? So that's 9. What's 4 times itself?
Again, I did
Yeah,
it.
you sure
Right there,
did.
did it again, trying to be smart. 8.
So what is it? 16. Equals some number times itself. What's 9 plus 16? 25. 25 is equal to some number times itself.
5.
That number is 5, right? What number times itself is 25? It's 5. The square root of 25 would give me what C is. That means the number times itself that equals it. So that's 5 equals C, okay? So this has to be 5. Now it doesn't always, it won't be 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5 works, but let's look at another one. How are we going to figure that? What we know is that this times itself is equal to A times itself plus B times itself. Okay, we don't know that one, so we're still looking for it. One of them is 15, right? The other one is 20. Those of you with calculator, multiply 15 times 15. 225. 20 times 20?
400.
400. So we know that some number times itself is equal to what? 625, right? So we know that that number is whatever number times itself is 625. We can see. Is 25 times 25 625? Yes, it is. So this would have to be 25. You see? Follow? Okay. You're not always looking for the C. They may say, what's that one? Remember that as long as you have all but one thing, you can figure out that missing thing. You write the formula. First of all, the only way you can ever find the length of a side of a triangle, anytime you see that that's the problem, you have to know it's a Pythagorean theorem question. Anytime they ask you what's that side, the only way you can figure out a missing side of a right triangle, or of any triangle, because if they give you any triangle and ask you for the side, you're not going to be able to do it at all unless they tell you it's a right triangle. Once you know it's a right triangle, you say, okay, I have a way to figure out the side. And the way you figure it out is the Pythagorean theorem. As soon as you know that, put down your c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Then you're going to look at what they give you. Here, they give us the c, because you have to remember that c is always the slanted line. They give you the c, so now I have the 25, and they give me one of these, but they don't give me the other one, right? So this is the information I have. I have the c right here, I have one of these. Doesn't matter if this is A or B or the other is A, it doesn't make a difference which one's A or B. The only thing that makes a difference is which is the C. Okay? Because it doesn't matter if I add 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3, you still only get 5. So it doesn't matter which one is A or B, since addition is commutative. So now I say 25 times 25, which I see is 625, is equal to, you said 15 times 15, what'd you tell me it was?
225.
How much?
225.
225? I still don't have that one, right? So I know that 625 is equal to 225 plus something, right? 225 plus what would give me 625? 400, right? I know that this has got to equal 400 in order for me to add it to the 225 and get 625. So all I need to know is what number times itself is going to give me that 400. And it's 20. So that's how I can find out that 20. You can find out any of them. They could have given me the 20 and not the 15. So right here now I would have this. I'd have this times itself is equal to this times itself plus something times itself, right? Right? That's what they gave me. That's what I know. Still no